Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever episode of the Gegenpress, my YouTube channel, which I've decided to create to talk about football stuff. So today we're going to be talking about football boots, but who knows? In other videos, we'll be talking about football matches, analysis, topics, players, tactics, and even the latest trends. So this idea of this video came to me when I recently got hold of this latest gem from Mizuno. This is the Mizuno Morelia DNA, which some may believe, if you follow the boot reviews on YouTube and on the internets, potentially the greatest boot of all time, if not ever, and by far probably in the leading for the boot of the year 2025. However, there were questions going about how would it compare to what many boot reviewers also refer as potentially the greatest football boot of all time. This one we have here is the Mizuno Wave Cup SS in the special Shinji Okazaki color upon his retirement, if I'm not mistaken. So anyways, to those who are not aware or it's pretty new to the Mizuno side of shoes, these two shoes are considered to be the holy grail. All right, and today we're going to talk about, should you look at them, should you buy them, what should you look out for when you're buying them, and how do they compare. So for context, I've owned the Wave Cup for a few months now. I played in it for a number of times on artificial grass, participate in a social football thing on weekends, and by far this is probably my favorite boot. Easily. It might not be the fastest, the lightest, or the snappiest, but it is the most comfortable one that I have. Break-in time is literally on the day you wear it, when you start kicking ball. No pressure points, fits perfectly well. I wear typically a size 7, and depending on certain cuts, probably 7.5 or 7. If it's Adler, probably 6 due to the weird sizing. But for the Mizunos, I wear a size 7, which is true to size. However, I am probably going to recommend, or probably going to experiment somewhere down the road, trying a 6.5, see how it fits, whether it's super snug. Otherwise, I can always go back to 7. So anyway, a quick one about the Wave Cup. So it's a full K leather upper. This is not a speed boot at all. This is a comfort boot. It's probably the plushiest one you'll ever wear, and easily said, if you wear this, you'll be spoiled. It's hard for you to go for a comfier fit. And probably if you go for the Adler Yatagara shoes, which probably will appear in a video sometime in the future, but once you've worn this, you'll be spoiled stupid. It would be so difficult for you to consider getting another pair that beats the Wave Cup in terms of comfortness. Alright, so let's put it aside first. However, Wave Cup is hard to get. It's released in a limited release. However, in the Malaysia Mizuno store, it's still available. So if you're watching this outside of Malaysia, you might want to look at the Malaysia Mizuno store, or several actually proper spot shops in Malaysia who actually stock them up really well. And they are a bit on the slightly more expensive side of things, but not that far off from your top tier Adidas or Nikes, which leads to this one, the Mizuno Morelia DNA. So the Morelia DNA, if my calendar serves me right, the first release was in 2021 or 22. Back then, it had a different color, this dark blue here, and mostly blue or black, darker one. So the nomenclature for Mizuno shoes are a bit confusing for those who are not familiar, but I'll try to help you as much as possible. So the Morelia 2 are known as the comfort ones. They're supposed to be the comfiest, the best fit outside of the Wave Cup. The Wave Cup is on a totally different, uh, different scale. And then there was the Morelia 3, which was a speed boot, Morelia 3 Neo, and then there was the Morelia Neo 4. Sorry, Morelia Neo 3, Morelia Neo 4. So which is, the evolution of the Morelia Neo 3. The difference between between the Morelia 2 and the Morelia 4 is one is a comfort boot, more of plushy feel, and the other one which is a speed boot. All right. Hold on a second. Let me get my Morelia 4. All right. So I've had this Morelia 4 for a while. Haven't worn it much because my preferred speed boot would be the Sokitos. But the Morelia 4 is a very comfortable speed boot. I didn't get the made in Japan's. I got the Elites instead because I felt that I probably prefer the look of it. And probably the Japan one is a bit too expensive for a speed boot, I felt. So this is the Morelia 4. Okay, so at first glance you might not see much difference with the DNA, but when you turn it around like that, let me get the right side here. The Morelia DNA shares the exact same sole plate as the Morelia Neo 4. Alright, so remember that, sole plate of a Morelia Neo 4. However, the upper are significantly different. It's because the upper on the Morelia DNA is from the Morelia 2, which I mentioned earlier just now is much more plush, much more comfortable, and very close to what Wave Cup is able to provide. Okay, so in a nutshell, you can say the DNA takes the best of both worlds, the plushiness and the comfort of the Morelia 2 and the sole plate of the Morelia Neo 4. Alright, stay with me here. So obviously, wow, you'll be talking about this is an awesome boot. And then comes in the GOAT, which is the Wave Cup. So what sets the Wave Cup apart from everyone else? Obviously the upper. The plushiness is on a totally different level. The tongue obviously sets it apart as well. The look, if you're into the tongue look, this is definitely what you want. You can either slip it under the laces or you can put it on top. I like to put it on top, aesthetic reasons. But the one that really puts the Wave Cup ahead of every other Mizuno models would be the soles. The studs, the stud pattern looks. It might look a bit dated, but it's actually really comfortable when you play on artificial grass. And if you look at it, it's more of a semi-bladed, curved, and semi-bladed, normal, rounded studs. And it comes with this bit at the back. That's where the wave comes from, the Wave Cup. So this provides a bit more comfortness on your heels, especially when you're playing on hard to, artificial grass, firm grass, harder grounds. So this provides so much comfort. I have those realigned insoles when I bought the Adler Yatagara shoes, and I don't even bother putting them in here because this is so comfortable. So now it leads to the question, having won the Wave Cup, how does the DNA compare? So at the end of the day, this feels very much like a speed boot, a plush speed boot. Obviously, it feels much better than wearing the Morelia Neo 4, but it's a bit on the expensive side, which puts it on the same price as the Wave Cup. So if you, I've been trying to, get people's opinion or get the opinions on the internet, and no one's saying it because I wanted to see whether I share their opinions or not. And the question would be, which one to buy? All right. Personally, I don't know which one. I like both. I'm very fortunate to have both to compare. But if you only have the budget to buy only one, and you need to look at certain points of decision making, so I can help you to get it. If you've never owned a Mizuno shoe and you only want to get one pair of Mizunos down the line, get the Wave Cup. Because I feel that as good as the DNAs are right now, you can call it the DNA 2s because it's the new version, right? But let's talk about the Wave Cup first. This one doesn't come often. If you see it in stock, pick it up and you will not regret it. Knowing very well that they've released a new DNA, so I'm pretty sure Mizuno is going to release another version of DNA 2, not the DNA 3s, DNA 4s, as we produce more Morelias. So this will not be the last of it. Obviously, this won't be the last of it as well. They'll be producing the Wave Cup in different colors. However, like I said just now, if you only have to pick one, the Wave Cup would be the most sensible choice. Because if you missed out on the DNAs, you still can get a Neo 4 and you have that same sole experience. Or if you don't get a whole of a Morelia 4, you still can get a Morelia 2 with the plushness of the upper. However, none of those shoes that I mentioned just now come close to the experience of owning a Wave Cup. So if I am to rank my favorite Mizuno shoes, obviously it's going to be the Wave Cup first, the DNA second, Morelia 4, Neo 4. I don't have a Morelia 2 in possession, but it's kind of made pointless since I already have the DNA. And if you're asking how comfortable they are, do you need grip socks and whatnot, I don't think so. You can just wear any normal socks. You don't need grip socks. The inner lining of these shoes are grippy enough that they stay in place. The laces are tight, although they don't come with the runner's loop. So, but you can add the additional hole for the runner's loop. But I use the last hole to makeshift a runner's loop, so that works for me. So, in conclusion, Wave Cup or the DNAs, if you can get both, you will not regret. This is one of those purchases where you might look at your bank account and then you look at the shoes in your possession and think, that's a good call, that's a good buy. But if you only have the budget for one, straight up. So that's all I have to say about the comparison between the Mizuno Wave Cup SS and the Mizuno Morelia DNA. Alright, so hopefully we're going to have more videos about this, the experience, the playtime, how it feels, and also before we go for any further, before I close the video, the fit. I do recommend true to size. However, if you want it to be super snug and tight, going down half a size for the Mizunos would not hurt, because I think about all these Japanese brands, they do run slightly longer. And you might be wondering, okay, if I run it half a size smaller, will my feet be cramped and whatever? Because these shoes you are going to be wearing are not synthetic. These are K-leather. So they will stretch. On the sides, it will stretch eventually to fit you. But at the end of the day, you want your toes, you don't want too much space at the front. But if you're like me, I don't mind a bit of maybe a quarter of an inch extra. So just get true to size. But if you have a shop nearby, give it a try. You will not regret Mizuno football boots. Thank you for watching. Appreciate any subscription. Do you have any comments on the presentation on how I can improve the video? I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to you in a while. See ya.